Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Curtis's Podcast Network and this AFC South show number 154, week one preview of the 2024 regular season. So, I'm the Texans fan here on the channel. I'm the host of this channel. I'm also the host of That Real Texas Team podcast. You can find me on Twitter at Curtis PD Network or X, whatever the hell you want to call it. We got our resident Jags fan in for the evening, Trevor. What's up, man? How are you doing?
Hey, man, we're doing good. Thanks for having us on there. Proud to represent Third and Teal from the CPN. You already know. If you know the CPN, you know our channel by now. I appreciate the love and respect we've been getting over there, man. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, yeah. Down here in your bottom right, we've got Jeff Steckel, a.k.a. Big Steck, holding it down over there on Unstable.
Yes, sir. We're growing slowly but surely. So, like Trevor said, we appreciate all the support and everything. You know, we're getting a pretty good upswing in views and whatnot, but we could really use your help smashing that sub button, sharing in comments, man. We want to talk to y'all. This is why we do it. So make sure you drop some comments, whether you agree, disagree, don't care. Just let us hear from you.
Yes, sir. And you can go ahead and comment on this video anytime somebody says if you get the total number of correct at the end,
don't do a drinking game with it.
Then I'll give you a Hershey's Kiss. Down here in the bottom left, representing Titans takeaways, a coworker, a bearded man, Austin Caps.
How's it going, guys? Yeah, from Titans takeaways, we are also getting a lot of comments, especially on the shorts. Mostly people telling me I'm delusional for saying the Titans are going to win the Super Bowl. Don't know what that's about, but keep commenting. I love seeing those. Love having some fun with the commenters. Kind of jarred back and forth with them. So yeah, happy to be here, guys.
Hell yeah. As they all mentioned, we're all growing. We're the Unstable has got the least amount of subscribers at 49 right now, but everybody's on the come up. Everybody's on the come up. You got Titan takeaways at 60, That Real Texas Team at 102, and then you got Third and Teal at 234, and then here on CPN 458. Like to see all these numbers keep jumping up, folks. So if you're a fan of any of the teams, you've come to the right spot. Now you know where to go when you want not just a show of four guys just kind of semi-arguing with each other. You want to talk about only your team? Now you know where to go. So without any further ado, let's talk about injuries. Who's in danger of not playing this week? Obviously, the injury reports for the week have not started to come out yet in terms of like meaningful things. So we get that tomorrow, but who's on the bubble right now may not play week one.
I think the most notable for the Colts.
Go ahead, buddy.
I think the most notable for the Colts is going to be Josh Downs. He got tackled in practice. He got tickled in practice. Jesus, he got tackled in practice by Nick Cross. There was kind of a bitter feeling there. He was 7-on-7s. He should have been tackled, but either way, he hurt his ankle. He's questionable. I'm saying probably more doubtful for week one. They're probably targeting more of a week two return. It'd be nice to have him out there week one, but right now he didn't practice today, so it's iffy. And the other one is Matt Gay. So I know we have a kicker on the practice squad. I have his name here. Let me see. Spencer Schrader. So Matt Gay is also iffy to go, so it might be him kicking for the Colts.
Okay.
The Jaguars did release him, by the way. I don't know if you guys are just like lagging behind me. It's crazy. I gotta get your teams up, man. You gotta pick them up. Just kidding.
Austin, is there any Titans in danger of not playing week one?
Yeah, the big name is obviously DeAndre Hopkins. His knee has kind of been ailing him for a little bit. Jim Wyatt, kind of the go-to news guy for Titans, did post a video about 2 hours ago. D-Hop's, suited up, practicing, jumping around. So outlook, I think, looks good on seeing him out there. It'll probably be limited play. Another guy, Jamal Adams, did not participate in practice today. So Jamal, obviously, we signed him for his veteran leadership and his wisdom that comes with playing so many seasons. A little concerning that he didn't practice, but I imagine he's going to be eager to get out there. He's got a pretty big personality. He'll want to be on that field. So that's one guy I'll be definitely keeping my eye on. Those are the two notable ones on the Titans side. Ultimately, we've got enough players. If they don't play, we're still going to kick the crap out of the Chicago Bears.
I like it. Strong words from a strong beard. Trevor.
Well, there's a couple things actually going on the injury side of things in Duval. We got a couple guys that aren't on the injury reserve or on the IR, on the injury report for the week, but I still worry about them. Like they say that Christian Kirk is actually fully recovered, but he was having a calf injury that ailed him the entire preseason. Like I think he sustained it the week directly following the Chiefs game in joint practices with the Bucs, and he didn't play again since then. He was participating in practice. It wasn't something that like was debilitating. I don't think I'd say he's quite in danger of not playing, but he's definitely probably going to be on a limited role unless they're being honest when they say he's fully recovered. You know how that goes. There's times where they're not going to say whether or not one of their go-to guys is really down in week one. You're not going to give that insight. He's not on the injury report, so that's good. The only guy that actually is on our injury report is Daniel Thomas, one of our safeties. DT is pretty good. He's a solid player. Not our starter, though, so it's not really like going to make or break the team. And we've got plenty of safeties. Honestly, we got probably a little bit too many. But we've got plenty. And it says limited, but I feel like if it was just a limited thing and it wasn't that bad, there wouldn't be a need to put him on the report. It would just, since he's a backup anyway, like why would you throw him on there? He's probably not, you know what I mean? And then obviously the Wingard injury. Wingard's out for probably 5 more weeks is what the timeline we were guesstimated. We still haven't even been told what his injury actually was, which is actually very scary. Did that happen like a month ago? It'd be nice to know what's going on with old Dewey, man. Dewey's a stud. And then they did say that Eric Armstead is full go. Eric Armstead is 100% healthy. He is ready.
Yeah. No, he's going to be needed. The Dolphins got that phenomenal. Everybody's fast. Everybody who touches the ball is fast. So you're going to need these big guys to shut some shit. For the Texans, Will Anderson Jr. is questionable. I mean, they haven't released an injury report that I've seen yet, but he's dealing with an injury. He hadn't played much in the preseason. From what I understand, he is going to go, but he's probably going to be operating close to 90, 95%, which is, not optimal, but, him and Danielle Hunter opposite each other, and it sounds pretty nice on paper, and I'd like to see that happen. But also no Christian Harris. He's on short-term IR as well as Kurt Heinisch. So the defense is down a few names. And of course, Danico Autry's not playing because of PEDS, but whatever, He literally gave his doctor a thing, was like, don't put any of the stuff in this. I'm trying to have a baby. And the doctor was like, all right, bet.
That's what they all
put
say.
like all of them in there.
Yeah, I think they all say that. And you're going to have that on these.
I didn't know it was in there.
Oh my God, no way. He's like secretly the biggest Colts fan. Yeah. Okay. So look, let's start with week 1 outlook. We'll start with Trevor. We'll keep it on the positive side and we'll go negative after this. Okay. If the Jaguars win week 1, what has gone right? What has happened to make the Jaguars get that W?
Our offensive line stood up.
Okay.
Because that was to me, it's been the biggest question mark left with this team in Duval this year. Because I think at this point, after watching through the preseason, and we know everybody's going to say, oh, level of competition, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Okay. You're still trying to throw the ball against grown men who are professionals. They may not be the highest level professionals, but they are professionals. Okay. There's a reason that you want your starters to play in preseason. There's a reason that their play is significant in preseason. If it didn't matter at all, they wouldn't play. Okay. That being said, Trevor Lawrence was an absolute assassin every time he touched the field. Like every single time. I think at the end, he was like 9 for 10 with like 4 or 5 touchdowns. Like, dude was on fire. He was unstoppable. Our offensive line would have had to have stood up, though, to see that because throughout the preseason, that was the only thing we were worried about. There were a couple times they were obvious breakdowns, people getting walked on. But if everything goes right, it means Brian Thomas Jr. took the spotlight and ran with it like he did all preseason. It means our offensive line stood up. It means Trevor Lawrence took that prowess and that touch that, honestly, we've never seen from him before. He was throwing the ball with a touch this year already that we have never seen from him. And I can say that because look around the room. That is my favorite player on the team. I watch tape on him extensively. He's definitely playing with some carries never had. And then also that means that our secondary stiffened up a little bit. They played very well, but they definitely had some things to clean up, some very correctable things, and that means that happened as well.
Okay. Jeff, give me your thoughts on what Trev just said. If the Jaguars are to win against the Dolphins, what do you think has to happen, and your thoughts on what Trevor said?
The Dolphins have a ton of speed. Obviously, they have Tyreek Hill. They've got Waddle. They got Tua that can get it up to them. They're gonna have to get after it. They're gonna have to disrupt that. They're gonna have to disrupt the timing. Their front is gonna have to dominate them in the trenches. They're gonna have to put Tua on his ass. And I actually think it'll be a fun game. I don't know if it could be one of those runaway shootout games. We all love to see them. But yeah, I think they're going to have to get Tua off his game, and they're going to have to disrupt that timing with those receivers.
Okay.
Otherwise, it could be kind of a long day at the office.
Okay. Austin, same question.
Yeah, I think this the win condition for us is our defense stepping up. We're going up against a rookie quarterback who's supposed to be the next Patrick Mahomes, right? But Patrick Mahomes or not, he's still a rookie quarterback. And these NFL teams, they know not to put the game on a rookie quarterback's shoulder. So what I'm anticipating from the Bears is a lot of the run game. They have an excellent backfield. They got DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert back there. They're going to require a lot of those two guys, as well as their veteran receivers like DJ Moore. They're going to require a lot of those guys to kind of stretch the field a little bit. If our defense steps up, we get Jeff Simmons to clog the lanes. We got Sweat up there clogging the lanes. Harold Landry's back. He's coming off the end. If we can get to the quarterback, we can make Caleb Williams really uncomfortable, and we can shut the run game down. I think that's where we win it. We don't have to put up any more than 21 points, in my opinion, to win this game.
All right. Phenomenal point. I was asking, though, about if the Jaguars beat the Dolphins, what has to happen?
Oh, I'm sorry. We're talking about Jags and Dolphins?
Yeah. We're going around the table talking Jags,
Oh.
Dolphins, and then we'll get
We'll
go into your team next, actually. But.
That's just me getting used to the new setup here.
Hey, no, you're good. You're vibing. You're getting. I'm loving it.
I'm just such a Titans fan. That's all I really want to talk about. But if I have to talk about the Jags, I will say Trevor Lawrence is surgical. The guy knows what he's doing. He knows how to dish. So I'm looking forward to watching the Jags go out there and put up a fight against the Dolphins. The Dolphins are my pick to win the AFC East. I don't think Buffalo's got it in them. So the Dolphins are going to come out there. They've got a lot to prove this year, so they can secure the playoffs for that side there. I think there's a good opportunity for the Jags to say, hey, don't overlook us. We're going to slap you in the mouth because they're an AFC South team. And I always root for my AFC South boys unless it comes to potentially, the playoff contention there. So I'm looking forward to the Jags kind of showing something. I hope Kirk's back. Kirk carried me in the flex position for my fantasy teams for a few years there. So Kirk's a good guy to watch. Hope we see Christian out there. He's an asset for that team. So looking forward to that. That's my prediction there. I think Trevor's going to come out there and it'll be a little shootout there.
I don't think it's going to be a shootout. I think the Dolphins come out flat, and I think the Jags are going to pop them in the mouth pretty early on. I think if the Jaguars win, they are playing Jaguar football and completely dominating both sides of the ball. I got the complete opposite opinion if we're going to go negative with it, in the sense of if they lose, it's because Tyreek Hill is the fastest man alive. And what do you do about that? You know what I mean? Well, you can't just replicate that on defense. Who's the fastest guy playing defense in the NFL? I don't even know. But we know who Tyreek is, and he's a problem.
Yeah.
He's got to earn the paychecks, man. He's got all them babies.
I do got to say real quick, though. You're right about I think, Curtis, I think you're absolutely right. I do think they're going to come out flat because we saw what happened to them towards the end of the year last year, where people were figuring out, dude, this just throw the air out of the ball scheme, obviously, because you just throw it up and the fastest guys in the league are going to run under it.
Yeah.
I can say this. We brought in a lot of veteran presence in that secondary, and that's why that was one of my keys to victory was the secondary tightened up and made the very correctable corrections. Because we got a stud in Jerry and Jones. Tyson Campbell's healthy again. He's putting everyone in lockers, dude. Like everyone he's went against, he's putting them in lockers. Andre Sisco's healthy again. And I'll say this. They're not going to be able to outspeed Tyreek Hill, but they can outstride Tyreek Hill. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Because they're starting a good 15 yards back than where he is. And as long as we do the film study, and I mean, really, there's not too much film study that you have to do on a guy like Tyreek, mainly because he's known for his speed and his deep bomb ability. He's got good routes. He's sharp on the routes. But, like, if you got a good corner, you're locking that down. So, really, all you have to be prepared for is him trying to take the top off. And I can tell you this. Steck was absolutely right with the disruption comment. And I'll say that we absolutely have the front seven this year to disrupt any offense that we want to. I'm not saying it's always going to be successful. You're not going to win every down, obviously. But, like, if we make it a point, it absolutely is possible. There is no team in the league that can absolutely stop our front seven for a fact. Like, if they do it, it's because they earned it, and they're going to have to work their ass off to do it. You know what I mean? We're not going to be a pushover like we have been in years past and like with the sloppy defenses of a Mike Caldwell ran unit.
Yeah, and this is the Dolphins line that lost a couple players. For sure, didn't Robert Hunt move on to the Raiders or something?
I don't even remember where he went, but I know he did move on.
Yeah.
Lost, what was it? Raekwon Davis was with them too. He went to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
He came to us.
So, I mean, the Dolphins got that solid front seven. The Jaguars' Achilles heel has been, at least lately, has been offensive line play. That's the matchup to watch for me in that game. But if the gentleman at the bottom, Jeff Austin, if the Jaguars lose, what do you think has to happen for the Jaguars to lose?
I'm going to say that they didn't protect Trevor Lawrence like they needed. He didn't have the time to get the ball out. Yeah, if they don't win up front on offense, it's going to be a long day. I think they got to do a lot to kind of check down to ETN. I think he might be kind of an X factor in this game. He's big in their pass game. They don't get him going, and Trevor Lawrence is kind of out of that rhythm, and he's occasionally had issues with turnovers, red zone turnovers. So if he doesn't have that time, I feel like that's what's going to happen is they're going to get after Trevor Lawrence and get some sacks on him and force him to make some mistakes. That's probably what will happen if the Jaguars lose.
Okay, Austin.
Yeah, we'll keep in with my prediction of this being a shootout. I think that they just get outgunned. They can't keep up with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. That offense is pretty explosive. So I could see Miami just outgunning them, and the Jags still playing a great game, and just they can't keep up. So we'll be watching those defensive backs pretty tightly on that game. That's my thoughts on that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do a score prediction on this Dolphins Jags game. Let me pull up. Hold on.
Week one is always tough. This is a really tough game for me to even think about a prediction.
That's what I've been saying all week. I've been asked multiple times about my score prediction, and
it's a tough one.
I've settled on one finally after about 1 million times of receiving the question. But
Okay. All right. Let me pull up the over-under on this mother real quick. Shoobity-pap. Okay. The over-under is 48.5. The spread is the Dolphins are favored by 3.5 according to ESPN. So I want a score prediction, and I guess the score prediction will tell me or not you think it's going to go over or under. So
I think 35-28 Jacksonville. The reason I think 35-28 Jacksonville is because it is week 1. We got to remember that. There's a couple things going to happen, but I can tell you this. Brian Thomas Jr. is that X factor receiver that we're looking for. We're going to see if he can consistently be that.
Okay.
But, we're going to be able to score points this year. And we have, in my opinion, one of the best defensive coordinators in the league now. Just by watching his involvement, like actually an opportunity. Guys, go to Third and Teal and check out the shorts we put out on Ryan Nielsen in his involvement with the defense. And like he's getting face to face with everyone. This is not like, oh, just go do this. And I'm going to stand over here and watch all you guys just kind of do it. Like he's in everyone's face. Like you're going to do your job or you're not going to have one. And that's what we needed. And I think that's going to bring a discipline to this defense that you have to stop a speedy receiving core like Miami. So I think 35-28 is a realistic score prediction considering Press Taylor's still going to press Taylor. So even though we've got the X factor and we're going to be able to put up points, he's still going to find a way to shoot us in the foot at some point. That's his best attribute is shooting us in the foot. So,
okay. I'm going to go 38-35 Jacksonville. That puts us over. I think the potential for the shootout is too great. I think both of these offenses have a lot of firepower. And the Jags, I think, are looking to display that and put the whole NFL on notice. And the Dolphins are just trying to keep because they're basically the Dolphins are under new expectations. It seems as though the Bills have fallen all the way off with their receiver core being led by a guy who everybody's been waiting to, burst onto the scene for the last 7 years, Curtis Samuel.
yeah. I think Keon Coleman's going to take that one spot over there.
Very quickly. So the Dolphins are trying to fill a vacuum, and they're trying to live up to expectations of last season, and they just extended Tua. They've extended Mike McDaniels. A lot of points going up in this game, if you ask me. So, Jeff?
I think I took Miami to win. It'll be a close one, and it's probably going to be over. I think I'm leaning like 28-24.
Okay. Austin?
You're a hater.
Yeah, you and I are pretty close there, Curtis. I'm going 31-34 on this. I think it's just a field goal game there at the very end of it. I am taking the Jags. Excuse me. I am taking the Jags to win this one. And I apologize for my camera. I have zero idea what's going on there.
I don't know. Could be interwebs or something.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, let's pivot here to the Titans and Chicago. We don't have to do score predictions or anything at the moment, but the spread is in favor of the Bears by 4, and the over/under is 44.5. This is all according to ESPN. It's all subject to change, so don't fucking quote me on nothing and whatever. Austin.
Yeah, I kind of gave you my opinion on how this game is going to go. Are we doing – which part are we doing? You want me to say, if the Titans win?
If the Titans win, what has gone right?
Yeah, if the Titans win, it's because our defense stepped up. Much has been made about that Chicago offense, and rightfully so. They got some good pieces back there. DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert are going to be really good, an excellent backfield, honestly. And Caleb Williams, we'll see what he's made of. He's still a rookie. I think he's a little overrated, but he's still going to be pretty good. Our defense just needs to get to him, make him uncomfortable, welcome him to the NFL, and shut down those running backs, and we'll be fine to win this game, in my opinion.
Okay. I think if the Titans win this game, then the defense is playing like they've played together for years. The defense looks solid. Caleb Williams looks every bit of the flop that I think he is. And the Titans are able to walk in and out of Chicago with what could potentially be an easy win. There's just a lot of youth in Chicago, in my opinion. And I don't I don't know. I mean, they got some pretty good pieces on defense. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'm not gonna sit over here and tell you that they're anywhere near a complete team. And Keenan Allen hadn't played a full season since fucking Nam. So I'm not worried about their offense being too great. There's a good chance that Keenan Allen doesn't even play the whole game. So I mean, I think it's pretty possible that the Titans win this game based purely off defense, and the offense does just enough. Because I think the offense will operate better when Hopkins is 100%. And if by some chance he doesn't play, that's kind of what I'm building this off of. If they win and he's not playing. If they win and he's playing, then it's just a little bit simpler for Will Levis to make reads.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff, Trevor, either one?
Good.
Yeah, I've been very adamant about how I think the Titans will finish. I don't have enough faith in Will Levis. And, the Titans' offensive line has been kind of a turnstile at every position. I don't know if the Bears really have to do a whole lot offensively to win. I'm not saying that they're going to run away with the game, but, man, I look at their receiving core. I don't know if Caleb Williams is going to be able to get it to him. I don't have a lot of faith in him either. But I really like the Bears receiving core. I think they've got a lot of studs. I really like their backs. I've always liked DeAndre Swift. I think I'm leaning more towards the Bears in this one. It's just to me, there's too many question marks with the Titans for me to put a lot of trust in them. Winning the opener.
Okay. Trev?
I just want to say something real quick. You said 34-31, right?
I said 34-31 for your game. Yeah, Jack.
Yeah, I just want to say Pete Prisco just released his takes on the games. He picked Jaguars over Miami 34-31.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I just had to say that. So shout out. Good work. Good work.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Glad we agree.
Dude, I got to be honest with you. It's really hard for me to say that I see a way confidently that the Titans win this game confidently. If they win, though, and I mean, that's if, that means that Caleb Williams let the lights get too bright. And I think, honestly, it's not meant to be an insult, but that's the only way they win this game. I'm sorry. Will Levis is not as good as he is made out to be. He's got the work ethic. He's one of those guys where, like, people are like, hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard type of guys, like. He's good, but like he just works harder. That's what it is. He does work really hard. So shout out to Mayo for that. But like you've got to have that elite gene to take down teams that have plenty of people that are also possessing that elite gene. Yeah. So if the Titans walk away from this game, I think it's because Caleb Williams just let the lights shine a little bit too bright on him because they've got firepower everywhere, dude. It's not just like, oh, Caleb Williams is a generational this. It's nothing to do with that. It's everything to do with Rome Odunze. It's everything to do with Khalil Herbert, DeAndre Swift. It's everything to do with Jalen Johnson and all those guys on the other side. There's a lot of reasons that the Titans don't walk away from this game compared to the reasons that the Titans might walk away from this game. Because if DeAndre Hopkins plays, you're hoping that Will Levis takes that step up that everyone's kind of hoping he does. Because if he doesn't, I mean, it's debatable whether this would be last year or they give him another one. You know what I mean? Because, like, he's done good, but, like, good – sometimes good isn't good enough, and that's a staple on our channel. You know what I mean? But, like, it's just going to come down to, I think, what Caleb Williams is able to do.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Austin, if the Titans lose, what has happened? What has gone wrong?
Oh, man. We're just repeating everything from last year. Our O-line is bad, and we just have zero secondary help, really. I think our defensive line is just where it needs to be. They're a great defensive line. They're not going to be the ones that fail us in this game. It'll be our secondary. It'll be our O-line. And unfortunately, it'll probably be Will Levis throwing a ball 10 yards too deep. So we'll see what happens, but that's my prediction. If we end up losing that game, those are going to be the reasons why.
Okay. We'll do it in a second. If the Titans end up losing this game, Caleb Williams has gotten hurt, and the backup Tyson Bagent has come in. I have absolutely zero faith in Caleb Williams. Have you seen the picture floating around of like the photo shoot he did where he's wearing like a toga?
Yeah, he's definitely a very, very weird guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah, Tyson Bagent, I think, gives the Bears a better chance to beat the Titans, just because he'll nickel and dime you to death, and the Titans are not built to stop that. But they are built to stop the deep ball a little bit. In my opinion, that's what I think they're built to do. L'Jarius Sneed and Chidobe Awuzie, maybe not so much Chidobe, but definitely Sneed and Roger McCrary on the inside. Those guys are good at stopping the deep ball. It is woof. Yeah. I'm trying to think here. If the Titans lose, yeah, I got nothing. Honestly, I mean, there's really just no way that Caleb Williams is going to be good. So,
Curtis, out of curiosity, what percentage chance are you even giving Chicago to win this game? Because you sound like you are 99 Titans, 1% Chicago here.
Yeah, basically. Just because I know Chicago is cursed to be doomed to mediocrity since they failed to let Walter Payton score in the 1985-86 Super Bowl.
That's fact.
I mean, just think of a good quarterback they've had since then. Oh, wait, there was.
They had Cutler. He was
Yeah,
all right.
Jay
He
Cutler.
was all right. He was all right.
Handyman.
He was a decent
Don't crap on Cutler like that.
Yeah, Jake Cutler, he was solid. He was pretty dang solid.
He was all right.
He was all right. 20 interception seasons,
Don't worry about that part.
Oh, yeah. Let's just forget that.
Yeah, don't worry about
It's
all
in the
that.
past.
Past business.
Yeah. All right. No, realistically, though, I mean, I don't have any faith in Matt Eberflus as a head coach.
Absolutely.
He's a defensive-minded head coach, and people have been able to just dismantle his defense at will.
As a Colts fan, I'm well aware.
Yeah.
I think
So, I mean, there's not a lot going on in Chicago. I'm surprised that he's still the head coach. Yeah, I mean, we're going to see. But it's been a long time since a USC quarterback was good in the NFL.
That's a fact.
I think the last good one was Carson Palmer.
Yeah.
That was 2002.
Don't worry about that. None of that.
Anyway.
This is a new time. Past business. God,
all right. Well, look. What are y'all feeling? If the Titans lose, what has to happen?
Caleb Williams has to do what he did do in the preseason. Okay, I'm not a Caleb Williams fan, and I don't want to sound like that, and I don't want people to assume that. But I do have to say, though, you can't deny
that knock against me.
you cannot deny a guy's ability to get the ball out in a troubled situation without turning it over consistently. And I will say he was put in trouble plenty of times throughout the preseason already because their offensive line is still dog water. And he still got the ball out, delivered it effectively, not just for like a 0-yard flat. Like he was still getting the ball out. Like I said, I'm not saying that I think he's going to be as great as everyone makes him out to be. I think he's going to be mediocre at best in the long run. Could be wrong, but I will say it doesn't take a good quarterback to beat that Titans defense right now. I'm sorry. And again, it's not meant to be an insult. It's not, but you got L'Jarius Sneed. And you got L'Jarius Sneed. Your defensive line is good enough just to hold up the offensive line, but what are you going to do when there's 3 or 4 elite receivers on the field? Or not elite, but like fast receivers running routes that you can't cover. You can't stop them. Like, what are you going to do? Is really what, like, my question would have to be is, like, I think the game is for the Titans to lose. The game is there for the Titans to lose. If they want it bad enough, they can win it. Absolutely. But I don't know what the Titans could do to stop them.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Titans can even outthrow them on offensive side either, because I have just as little faith in Mayo as I do in Caleb Williams. I mean, at best you can be just as bad as them on offense, and their defense is still better. Like it's what are you going to do? Like,
Yeah,
what are you going to do? And I know that sounds like I'm just trying to smash them. I'm not, but like, you got Calvin Ridley, but Will Levis can't get him the damn ball, and even when he does, he's probably going to drop it. I mean, what do you do? What are you going to do? The game is entirely up to the Titans. If the Titans show up and they actually do something that's resembling a good football-minded play and style, they can win. But if they lose, it's because everything that I just said happened.
Yeah. I think something that's benefiting the Titans is the new system. Nobody's got tape on them kind of deal. Able to kind of do a lot of different things that the Bears are not expecting, and that's going to catch them off guard a lot. And I think even if Will Levis plays mediocre football, there's a pretty good shot that he'll be able to move the ball pretty effectively. All right, let's go score predictions. Again, the over-under is 44.5. The spread is 4 in favor of the Bears. Austin, what's your score prediction?
Yeah, I mean, my brain goes to two things. You know, if Caleb Williams shows out and Will Levis surprises us and also improves, this could be a high-scoring game. I really do believe that. I think my conservative take on this, my full answer here is Chicago Bears 17, Tennessee Titans 28.
Ouch.
Okay. Is that over?
That's
Is it a push? That's an over.
45. That's over. It's barely.
Okay. Jeff?
Man, this is a tough one. I think it's two teams with a lot of question marks. I have no idea how they're going to come out or what they're going to do. Especially the Bears. It's a 17-all tie. I think I did take the Bears. Maybe, I don't know, 2017. So I guess I'm taking the under.
20 what?
2017.
20-17. Under. Well, you kind of stole my thunder a little bit on that one, Jeff. Damn it.
You stole mine too.
You can copy.
No. I gotta be different. 17-14 Tennessee. We're going under.
Nice.
I think I don't know, just kind of makes sense that both of these teams struggle to move the ball a little bit. I could see that happening on both ends. So 17-14 Tennessee, because they finally have a kicker who doesn't just shank everything.
Yeah, accurate.
Trev?
14-10 Chicago.
14-10. God bless.
Well, that's because I don't have any faith in Mayo or Tony Booty Cheeks Pollard. He's done.
What? Dude. Oh, my God.
Dude, he had a great line in Dallas. And
He did.
That is crazy.
He had a great line. He had a great line and still was kind of cheeks. Like, dude, stop it. Stop the overhype train right now. You stop it. If he was that good, he would have stayed in Dallas. Because you know what they did? They re-signed Ezekiel Fat Boy Elliott. All right? He couldn't have been that damn good.
Damn. Torched. All right. Well, look. The last two games are really just one game because the Texans and the Colts are playing each other. So we're going to get into that now. Jeff, if the Colts win, what has happened to make the Colts win?
It's going to be two things. They're going to get a lot of pressure on C.J. Stroud. I think they have top 5, maybe top 3 front 7. I mean, that front line is fantastic with Grover and Buckner. Love that combo. You know, Grover, I mean, he gets a few sacks in the season, but he's definitely a run stuffer. And he's a disruptor. Like he does get in the quarterback's face. I love the addition of Latu. He's been phenomenal in the preseason. He disrupted, I think, in the Bengals game, half of the plays that he was in. Then there's, unfortunately they lost Ibukum, but they still have Kwity Paye, who's coming into a contract here. So they're going to have to get after Stroud. And it's shown that when Stroud gets pressured, he's shaky. So they're going to have to get after him. They're going to have to get to him. And that run game, we saw 2 plays last season where Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson were on the field together. I think this run game, obviously the offense is going to go through Jonathan Taylor. It's not going to be, a passing game of old like Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning. It's not going to be Anthony Richardson, being this air it out, field general. It's going to be through the run. And I really like to see a lot of those read options. You've got to respect Anthony Richardson pulling it down. Just the fear of that. And of course, Jonathan Taylor is the Texans killer. Like he's co-owner with T.Y. Hilton of the Texans. So
he does average like 16 yards per carry.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
That run continues. That run game, they got a great offensive line. I think they were in the top 5 last year. So they're gonna put up a ton of yards. They're gonna put up a lot of points on the ground, and that front 7 is gonna get after C.J. Stroud.
Okay, Austin. If the Colts win, what has to happen?
I completely agree on that front 7. I respect to the Colts front 7. If I have to watch DeForest Buckner sack Titans QB one more time, I'm going to cry. So that front 7 is lethal, man. And if they can get to Stroud, that's going to be the Colts game to win. I think you could also see Anthony Richardson take a step forward as far as a passer. Nobody's denying what he can do with his legs. So if you can just make the efficient passes and prevent the turnovers, prevent giving C.J. Stroud the ball more, that's going to be the Colts game to win. Do I think that's going to happen? We'll talk about that. But you cannot let C.J. Stroud have more time in the pocket. You've got to get to him. You've got to make him uncomfortable.
Okay. Trev?
Yeah, I think if the Colts win, they knock the shit out of Stroud. Like, I'm not talking about just pressuring him a little bit because he's good at rolling out. But we do know that, like, when it collapses on him, he's straight booty cheeks. Like, he's not good when the pocket's collapsing around him. He's not good at that. He's phenomenal everywhere else, just not that. Okay? Because I'll say this, I don't think the Colts had the secondary to run with their receiver core. They don't. They don't have the manpower for that. So if the offensive line gives C.J. Stroud even a fraction of a second, they are fucked. Like, I'm sorry, that's just how it is. So if the Colts win, that means that their defensive line was crazy and Jonathan Taylor went right back to business and reclaimed ownership of the Texans franchise.
Okay.
Which is very possible. You have to say that, by the way. Like, props to JT because that's very possible. And to respond to Austin real quick, I gotta say this real quick too because it just drove me nuts. The only step forward that AR is taking is towards the DB while he's chasing him down to prevent the pick six because he's really that is it.
Pretty good one.
In my opinion, if the Texans lose to the Colts have done a few things right. Outside of pressuring C.J. Stroud, as you guys mentioned, you also make him make mistakes. That was something he was not doing a lot of his rookie season. I think in total, he had 5 interceptions. I think maybe 2 fumbles. So really, really tight lid on that turnover department. I think you're going to need a couple because, again, I feel like if this offense can get going at all against the Colts, you're going to need as many points as you can possibly get. So, taking advantage of the moments where you're making him make bad decisions, I guess, would be the reason that the Colts win. If the Colts were to lose, Jeffrey, what has happened?
The exact opposite. The Colts were boom or bust last year when it came to attacking the quarterback. They were terrible in overall pressure rate. So if they don't get in C.J. Stroud's face, that defensive line does not win. I really like Juju Brents, and I like the speed that Jalen Jones brings at corner, and I love Kenny Moore. He's a great, probably one of the best slot corners. But you have to contend with Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, and I know I'm forgetting somebody. That's too much for their very young secondary. If they can't get to Stroud, those receivers are going to smoke them. and that's not what I want to see. So Gus Bradley's going to have to play like they did against the Ravens last year, because they got after Lamar and they were bringing his ass down almost every play, it felt like. So if they don't get pressure and he has a few seconds, they're going to get shredded in the secondary.
Okay. Austin? If the
I
Colts,
think, yeah, if no, all good. So if the Colts lose, right, it's because C.J. Stroud is. I'm honestly a believer in that front line for the Colts there. So I think if C.J. Stroud has developed some pocket awareness and some ability to be calm under pressure, he's just going to run away with this game. If the Colts lose, it's just because of C.J. Stroud beating them. Like that's really it. I'm a believer in C.J. Stroud, begrudgingly, of course, but I think he's just going to have his way with that team.
okay. Trev?
I don't know, actually, because C.J. Stroud struggled against them without JT and their dynamic quarterback, which whether he's good at throwing turnovers, he is good at running the ball. He may be made of glass, but he can definitely pull it down on an RPO, and they are going to be lethal when they do that. Okay, but that being said, if the Colts lose this game, it's absolutely because they never touched C.J. Stroud. He's got a clean jersey on. And it also means that Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor just never got going. Well, really Jonathan Taylor, because Anthony Richardson needs to only go to the IR. So, only Jonathan Taylor did not get going.
Okay. To me, if the Colts lose, that means that not only has C.J. Stroud made enough plays to move the ball down the field, but I think Joe Mixon has made enough of a stamp on the game in the running department that kind of drains the clock out. It's an element we didn't really have last season at all, especially towards the end of the year against the Colts. If the Colts lose, that's what I think is the nail in the coffin, is that Joe Mixon is able to come in the third and fourth quarter and really just kind of run the clock out, take the air out of the ball, and honestly make the Colts have to throw deep for it every opportunity they get. While, Anthony Richardson can throw the ball, halfway across the moon, but
To the wrong team.
to the wrong team.
Hey man, he had 60% accuracy last year when he was playing. So
For 5 minutes.
I'll take
That's
that.
great.
Hey, it was like 12 quarters.
Hey, I got to give you crap, man. You made a short specifically about us. I'm coming after old Glass Bones Richards. All right?
I made a few shorts about it.
I know.
Yeah. Anyway, so look, we're not going to do the same thing for the Texans. We basically just kind of did it anyway, just reverse engineered it. So look, I'll do like a quick little rundown, I guess. All the Texans need to do to win the game is simple. Let C.J. Stroud play clean football. Keep him clean. No turnovers. Joe Mixon doesn't need to be 100 yards on the ground. He needs to average 4 yards a carry and have 15 to 20 carries. If that happens, we're good. I think that's what happens in a Texans win.
You just got to hope that DeForest
We're not
Buckner
looking for
breaks
Joe
the ankle.
Mixon to be 1,000.
And Grover Stewart.
Yeah, Grover Stewart and DeForest Buckner just have to literally break their spines in half.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
it.
absolutely.
That's
Yeah, but I'm not worried about the rookie edge rusher, and I'm not even sure who the backup is behind Ibuka.
No, I wouldn't be worried about Latu yet, but eventually he's going to be a problem.
You should be.
I mean, I know
he was getting double teamed right off the bat. You should be worried.
he's got a spine issue. We'll be fine.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because even if he gets a stop, Anthony Richardson is going to give it right back.
That's right.
It does not matter
He
what
he was a
Latu does.
turnover machine.
I completely agree.
He threw one pick in the preseason. Oh, now he's a turnover machine. Come on.
No, he threw. It's not that he threw one pick. It's the one pick that he threw to the only guy standing there. That's the problem.
Did you not see the play?
No, I just had to loft it a little bit.
Robinson ran
I just
it
gotta
was
get
an
you
option
fired.
route, and it looked like he was sitting down, and that's where Richardson put it. That's
I
how
know.
the play went.
Oh, I know. Look, he's getting fired up. I love it.
If the Texans lose, It's because the Colts have had their day. AR comes out and he looks every bit the part of a number 4 overall draft pick. Jonathan Taylor continues his dominance over Houston, and DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart continue to eat the interior of the offensive line alive. That's if the Texans lose. That's the things that I think happen. Grover Stewart and Buckner would probably be at that point, like, so close to CJ, you'd think they were like his secret service at this point. But yeah. So let's get into some score predictions, whatever. Jeff?
I think I said 31-28 Colts.
Oof.
The Colts are scoring 31 points.
With Minshew, they average 30, right?
Yeah, but Minshew, you'd be better off with Minshew, is my belief.
Damn.
Yeah, hold on. Wait a minute. No,
They went 28-10 with them and a half last year. Come on, man.
That is
with
wild.
Anthony Richardson.
That is wild. I know I like to shit on Anthony Richardson just because it's funny to see Steck get fired up, but that is a wild take.
Yeah, we didn't have either of our starting safeties or even the second string safeties in that game. But
28-10 at half.
That's fine.
All I know is we beat Anthony Richardson before he ever had an injury, so get fucked. I'm just kidding.
Trevor, let me get a score prediction from you. The over-under is 48.5, and the spread is 3 in favor of the Texans.
Yeah, I think it's 35-14 Texans. That offense is just – no, dude, listen. Steck.
No,
dude.
I'm with you on this one.
Steck, just hear me out, dude. Just hear me out, Steck. Okay, before you laugh it off, okay? You do not have the secondary to stop them. And even if Grover and DeForest go off, they're not going to win every rep. They're just not. And you don't have the secondary to stop them. You just don't. Unless those guys come out and just absolutely be like, hey, we know we look like absolute dog shit in the preseason, but we're stud lockdown corners now. It's not happening. It's just, and CJ Stroud has put up points like that on some of the best defenses in the league. Not all of them, but some of them. But he's also looked like absolute dog shit at times when he should have blown people out, the Jets, or you guys. I'm not hating on you. He should have blown y'all out last year. You're with Gardner Minshew at the helm. The Texans should have walked away with that game blowout win. It should not have even been close in all outside perspective. So the Colts are a gritty team, but dude, with the additions they have, and they're bringing back Tank Dell, and they've got John Mechie. That's the guy you were forgetting because that guy's also a stud. Dude,
and Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, Dalton Schultz is also a stud. Absolutely. I'm sorry, Steck. It's gonna happen.
It's not gonna be a 21-point game.
All right, Austin.
27-20 Texans, and really I think that's just the Colts getting a garbage time TD. I could see this being 27-13, but I'll say 27-20 is my official prediction.
Okay, he's the first one to go under on this so far. As far as this game,
early season games usually are the under. If you just look back at the stats, I think Dallas was the only team last year to score like more than 36 or so points. They scored like 40. Week 1 games are usually low scoring. So that's just I'm erring on that side.
Okay.
I just like seeing Steck get all wired up.
I'm gonna go with Houston winning because I'll admit the homer in me just doesn't like seeing those Pony Boys win. But I'm also gonna go over, and I'm gonna say it is
49-0 Texans.
No, we're gonna do a weird score, 33-27. How about that one?
Yeah,
33-27. I don't even know how we're gonna get there, but
it's gonna happen.
That's gonna.
we're gonna miss 2 extra points.
Yeah, we're gonna. Or we're gonna kick fucking
like
85 field goals.
Yeah,
that's 11 field goals.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be 11 field goals total, but I meant like
that's
touchdowns, 4 field goals.
It's only gonna be 11.
Yeah. All right. Well, boys, I think that's a good spot to go ahead and wrap this up. Do we have any closing comments in the preview for week 1?
I do got to ask a question.
Answer.
Steck,
Yeah.
what have you actually seen from the Colts? And I'm not doing this to be insulting. I'm genuinely curious. That makes you believe that they have the offensive firepower and the chemistry, because that's going to be a big part of it. A lot of these guys haven't played a lot of snaps together, to really keep up with that Texans offense that does have a shitload of snaps, and all they did was get stronger.
It's gonna be controlling the clock. They're gonna have to run it. Like I said, the offense is gonna have to run through JT. They're not gonna win this game by put a lot of air under the ball. I mean, he's got a cannon, but he's just gonna have to make those 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 throws, and really it's just gonna be Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson getting the run going. They're gonna have to control possession. I think they can do that. I mean, Steichen is a great coach to do that.
Stat that I pulled in the Texans pod that Anthony Richardson, from his last year of high school into college and now, started 6 games as a senior in high school, started 13 games throughout all of his college career, started 4 games last season in his rookie year. Yes, I think communication could very well be an issue, but I think there's an opportunity for Anthony Richardson to be like a spectacular quarterback if he can just get some experience and stay on the damn field and learn from playing. Otherwise, I mean, you're going to have old man Joe Flacco back there doing all manner of witchcraft.
Yeah, and then you're going to be electric.
If all goes right, we don't see Flacco at all.
That's if everything goes wrong.
Oh, man. All right. Well, look, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Folks, I want to thank you all for joining me this evening to come on and talk AFC South football. I want to thank you, the viewer, for checking in with us. Hit that like, subscribe button because we're trying to grow the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. Go check out Trevor on 3rd and Teal. Go check out Jeff on Unstabled. And go give Austin a holler on Titans Takeaways. You can catch me at That Real Texas Team podcast. And, be good people. Go Texans.
I know.